Hi, I'm Kevin Liao, an assistant professor of public administration of National Open University. I'm very glad that today we can invite Shirley Fan to join us and to share his or her experience about the International Volunteer Exchange Program. Hi, Shirley.
Hi, Kelvin.
I'm appreciated for your wonderful presentation. I'm sure that the audience can get a lot of ideas from it, but I still have some questions that I think our audience will be interested about it. So I want to ask you about them, and I hope you can share it with us. Okay. If our students want to be an international volunteer, as you know, most of our students are just adults. So what is the most important first step they should take, and how should they prepare themselves to do that?
Okay, so I definitely think that the best way to prepare for an international exchange is to do your research. Everyone has access to internet, and I think that's probably the best way to do it. You can go on the internet and search many different organizations and institutions. There's countless programs online. Like, for example, for me, I went through a student organization called ISAC. So that's an organization that takes place in universities. And basically what they do is that they organize the entire trip for you. So you don't really have to do anything at all. So how the process works with ISAC, which is the program that I went through, is that you have to apply and then you see an interview for them, and they kind of work out if you have the right expectations and the mindset, because they want to send the right people to volunteer overseas.
Yep.
So once you pass that stage, then you choose a project. So you choose what sort of project you want to do, whether it be like maybe cultural exchange, maybe education, maybe you want to raise awareness for environmental issues, or maybe you want to, like I did, teach kids English, or maybe you want to teach adults and raise awareness about AIDS. Like, there's countless of projects that you can choose from. So after you choose a project, then the people at ISAC, they organize everything for you. So they organize your host family, they organize your like day-to-day schedule over there. So basically all you have to do is just book your flight tickets and insurance, and that's pretty much it. So my final point is that you don't have to do it yourself. Like, there's so many programs out there and organizations that can do it for you. So it's not as hard as you think it is. Like, really the only thing that's stopping most people from taking this challenge and going overseas is themselves. Like, the opportunity is there, so people just don't want to take it. Yeah.
So as you're talking about themselves, so how could they prepare their mindset to doing this?
For me, the way I prepared was to read testimonials of other people who went on exchange. And I don't know, for me, I love stories. So by hearing and listening to people who have gone overseas and made a difference and had an impact on people, and listening to their stories, that really inspired and motivated me to do the same. Because, like, the way you think about it, right? Like, if they can do it, why can't I do it as well? And not only that, I always wanted to, I was very unhappy with where I was in life. Like, I was quite comfortable with where I am, and like, I haven't done much in my life so far, so I really wanted to do something different and like take a stand. So I guess one of the best ways to prepare is to talk to people who have been on these experiences.
Okay. The next question, if someone wants to be an international volunteer, so do you agree that family support is very important?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'm wondering if you told your family that you will come to Taiwan, how do your family respond to you, and how can you get their support?
So at first, my parents thought I was crazy. Like I said, I had never been overseas by myself before. So the fact that I wanted to spend 5 weeks in a different country was completely like, whoa, crazy. And my parents, it took a really long time for my parents to accept it. But I guess I I was really passionate about it, and I kept on telling them why I wanted to go and what I wanted to gain from it. Like I said before, basically it was just for me to challenge myself and kind of find out what I want to do in my life. And I guess after talking to my parents a lot, like this is one thing that's really important, and that's communication, especially with your family. They finally understood why it was so important for me, and then they agreed to let me go.
Okay. So as an international volunteer, what is the most difficult challenge you have faced?
So far, I'm not quite sure because I'm still on my experience at the moment, and I have a feeling that like once I go back to Australia, that's when I reflect on my experience, that's when I realize what was really hard for me. But I guess right here, right now, my biggest challenge would be the language barrier.
Yep.
Yeah, because I can't speak any Chinese at all. So at the beginning, it was quite difficult to work out how I wanted to communicate with people when I didn't understand me at all, especially with little kids who don't know any English at all. Yeah, so I would say language barrier was definitely the hardest thing.
Okay, and how do you conquer that?
Well, I guess what I did first was try body language, because that's one thing I learned. Body language is a common language against like everyone in the world, especially with little kids. And you also have to be very observant and reactive to, especially children, because if my method of trying to communicate doesn't work, so at the same time, when you're trying to communicate with someone, at the same time they're trying to communicate back to you.
Yep.
So even though my method might not be working, I have to like be aware that they're also trying to communicate back to me. So sometimes maybe I have to try to adapt to their way. So the kids would try to like maybe use numbers, or maybe they'll keep on repeating one word over and over again. So then I might need to ask for help. That's something that I realized that is really important, is to not be afraid to ask for help. And especially in Taiwan, people are so like friendly. That really shocked me. Like they would go out of their way to help me. So I'm really appreciative of that. And of course, another way to deal with like language barriers is technology. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
Okay. Oh, it sounds good.
Yeah.
So I wonder, I guess our students were very interested about the whole process, about your international volunteer exchange program. So can you tell us more detail about this program, and how can you make this program work?
Okay. So like I said, I went through a student organization at my university. So I guess the first step is to maybe check out your university and inquire if they have any programs about it, because I'm pretty sure that any university would have some sort of like cultural exchange program. So like I said before, do your research. That's really important. Find out what sort of program, what sort of project you want to do overseas. Research where you want to go, what you want to do, and also keep in mind what you want to gain from it. So before you even start looking for projects and stuff like that, it's really important to like sit down and work out why you want to go, like, and make sure that you want to go for the right reasons, and that it's not something vague like, oh, to change the world, but it's something like very small, well, very specific, and that you can actually see yourself following to the end. Like I said, the entire process for me was streamlined. It was really easy and efficient because I went through an organization. So they pretty much organized everything for me. After the initial interview, that's all I had to do. And choosing the project and stuff like that, they organized everything for me. So accommodation, also like, they also organized like, so just to talk a little bit about my project. So over my course of 5 weeks here, I went to school every day with my host family. And then on the weekends, because I had days off, the organizing that I was with, they would organize events and outings for me, as well as my host family. So it was a pretty tight schedule, busy schedule. Like I'll be working 5 days a week, and then on the weekend I'll be traveling, seeing more of Taiwan. So I guess one of the easiest way to like plan something is to communicate. Like just ask people, talk with them, make sure you're talking with them every step of the way. When you first get your project and you meet your principal in your school and your teachers, ask them, make sure you understand what's going on, what you need to do, and like make sure that's clear. And if something doesn't go the way you want it to be, or you have some problems, don't be afraid to speak out and ask for help. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So after you like apply and then organize everything and then go on your actual experience, I think the most important bit is just to like be in the moment. Don't worry too much about everything and just live each day as it comes. And about how the process is once you return, I can't quite say yet because I still have 3 days here, but yeah.
Okay, so the last question. If I ask you to deliver a word to encourage our students, what do you say?
Do it. Because like my personal motto is this Latin phrase called carpe diem, and that means seize the day. So basically what that means is that whenever an opportunity arises, it's important to grab it with both hands and just do it. You might be afraid, but like let me say out of personal experience that like despite all the challenges that you face, the people that you meet and the experiences that you will have will be definitely worth it. So just go ahead and do it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you again. Thank you, Shirley.
Thank you for having
your time
me.
to share your very treasured experience to us. And thank you, our audience. Thank you.